Hello everyone! At this point, I'm not going to be making like any sort of excuses as to why I don't upload because this is a hobby. This is something where it's like, oh, I feel like talking about this for a while. And then I do, and then it makes me feel better. And then if people happen to watch, it's like, cool, thanks for listening and enjoying and possibly talking about it with me in the comment section, although that hasn't happened yet. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's have a chat. And it's not like a bad chat. It's not something that it's like, you know, when like your parents, you know, if you're now or when you were younger, were like, we need to have a talk. And it's kind of like the anxiety just starts filling your soul because you're like, oh God, what did I do now? It's not that kind of talk. It's more like an informative plus like just a friendly sort of chat about certain things. I mean, I guess you can figure it out by the title. We're going to talk about minimalism. Also, I'm playing a game because I just got full energy and I need to update that. So we're going to be multitasking today. So yes, I would love to talk about minimalism, or like the minimalist lifestyle, or, you know, just general minimal aesthetics. What is minimalism? Well, it really depends upon the person. Everybody has their own sort of minimum of what they need. And that's the thing that I think should be the biggest thing. What you need. Not what you want, but what you need. Certainly people that live a minimalistic lifestyle definitely have things that they want. They're not, you know, living out by a campfire with, you know, just like the shirt on their back, a tent, and like a gun or like a bow and arrow to like shoot deer or something. Like, no, that's not what I mean. Minimalism in terms of what you need is, what do you absolutely have to have? Like, you need it in order to survive every day in the modern age, like almost without fail. That is your minimum. And in terms of wants, you have even less of that. A lot of people show minimalism as like a way to declutter. They show it as a way to almost like spring cleaning. They show it as just like a way of cleaning up your area, cleaning up your life, cleaning up your mind, you know, just a cleaner, minimalistic house or a room can just sort of, you know, make you feel better. Like that one woman from the Netflix show, what is it? Like the, you know, this sparks joy and stuff like that. It's kind of a similar aesthetic, although also not really. Yes and no, complications. If we were to look up the actual like definition of what is minimalism, I guess you could call it's more minimalistic, or being a minimalist more than minimalism. So a minimalist basically means you value yourself more than material things. And it goes on further to say it means making decisions based on what you need instead of getting everything you want. It does not mean the things you buy are cheap. It means they are something you need regardless of how much they cost. So for instance, having, let's say like you have a walk-in closet. Let's say that you have enough clothing to fill that entire full-time closet 3 times over. That's not minimalistic. A minimalistic approach would be to have enough clothes to fit that walk-in closet, and that's it. And I'm talking like the walk-in closet where like you literally can walk in and stand there but not really move around. That's a walk-in closet. And that's really like how much clothes you should need. Like, I basically have that wardrobe. That is my wardrobe. I actually have a sort of walk-in closet. I wouldn't necessarily call like collections minimalistic, but I also wouldn't necessarily say that you can't have collections and be a minimalist, because there are certain things that, you know, if you absolutely love it or you need it or you just like have to have it, and you have a place to put them that isn't like storage, and you have a place to display them, and you know, and all of that stuff, you can still kind of go along with that. But it's just when you have a collection and you have to have like a separate storage space to have them or to house them, that's when you're not being a minimalist. It's also people that just happen to have an excess amount of stuff, like an excess amount of shoes, an excess amount of accessories, an excessive amount of, I don't know, makeup, books, toys, you know, anything that like you can think of. It's just having an excessive amount to the point where if you're not like, to the point where you're not even using them, or you maybe used them once and then like have never used them again. That's not minimalism. That's excessiveness. You're buying something because you want it, and then you either have it just because you already spent the money on it and you don't want to throw it away, or you use it once and then you never use it again, and you don't throw it out once again because you bought it and you feel like you're getting your money's worth just by having it, when you're not. You're just kind of at that point wasting your time, money, and space. So how do I use minimalism? Well, firstly, my room is very small. I can give you a little tour of my room in a little bit. We'll cut to that later in the day after I'm slightly more organized, because once again I did laundry earlier today and I haven't folded any of my laundry yet, so we're gonna do that first, and then I'll do a little mini tour of my room. But it means, for me, it just means I have what I need, and I have what I am going to use. I never buy something for one single purpose. If I'm going to buy something, it needs to have multiple purposes, or it needs to have one continuous purpose that I always use it for. It's sometimes still difficult, even for someone who is a minimalist, to make purchasing decisions, because at the same time there are sometimes things that you just want to like buy and you're not really thinking about, well, like, am I really going to use this a lot? You know, what am I going to use this for? And then you have it and you get it, and then sometimes it does kind of start to become a bit of a clutter. But the nice thing about being a minimalist like myself is that I'm very good at throwing things away. If I think that after a couple of months of having something that it's just not working out, or I'm just not using it like I wanted to, or for whatever reason it just doesn't fit the purpose that I wanted it to, I'll throw it away, or I'll try to sell it, or I'll give it away to somebody. You know, I'll do something with it that is purposeful, but I'm not just going to keep it for my own material reasons. At that point, I'm just cluttering up an already small space, and I just don't want to have that in my life. So you're probably at this point thinking, you know, could I be a minimalist? Should I be a minimalist? I mean, if this sounds like just awful to you, then obviously this isn't for you. I would definitely say it's a lifestyle choice. It's not something that you have to do, but it definitely is a good thing to do, even if it's just like one sort of decluttering, like spring cleaning. It's literally just every once in a while you just get rid of anything that you don't need, and you just donate it, or you throw it out, or you recycle it, or whatever. Self-sustain. The earth is dying. But like I was saying, who would this work for? Well, generally, if you find that you do better in cleaner spaces, if you are also a person that is finds it difficult to clean, I'm not joking. If you are someone who struggles to keep your room or your area or your house or wherever you are clean, minimalism might be really good for you, because it's really hard to be dirty when you don't have anything. And again, the degree of minimalism is up to everyone. You know, everybody is a minimalism in their own way. Some people go like minimal, like I've seen people that live in vans and like they have like literally a week's worth of clothing and like a single like little suitcase, and they just have like a phone and like a little tiny solar panel to charge the phone, and they just live in their van because they like to travel. And like that's it. And like they maybe have like one or two like cleaning, and then they have like the basic stuff for like cleaning yourself, keeping yourself clean, and like that's it. They're like people that go haul cow. And then you have people who are like me, who still want to live comfortably and modernly, and you know, don't want to be living in cars. But I definitely have noticed that being a minimalist, reducing what I have, it makes me cleaner, it makes a room nicer. It's a nice aesthetic to have as well. Like I said, it's difficult to be dirty when you don't have a lot of stuff. And not that I struggle with being dirty. I would actually say the only thing that I really struggle with in terms of uncleanliness is getting my laundry done. Like, I get it done, and then like there would be times, especially in college, when I wouldn't like put my laundry away, like any of my laundry away, until I had to do laundry again. And then I would finally put away like the 4 items of clothing that I still had in that hamper, and then immediately put all of my dirty clothing, which was on the floor, back into that hamper and went to the laundry. I'm so bad. I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten so much better. You know, it's just things like that. If you feel like, you know, you need either to, if you feel like you have too much stuff and it makes it difficult to live, if you feel like you make senseless purchases and it's sort of like ruining, you know, what, sort of like ruining your bank account, or it's ruining, you know, whatever you have, it's just making life more difficult. If you suck at cleaning, or if you just want to do less cleaning, you know, I would definitely say minimalism is a good thing to try out. And I say try out because you might try out minimalism and realize that it is just not for you. Speaking of which, people who should not be minimalists. We're keeping that in. People who shouldn't be minimalists are, firstly, people who can stay clean, even if they have a lot of stuff. My parents are, or I should specifically say my mother is very clean. You know, they still live in it's technically a 4-bedroom household, and it has 3.5 baths. It's a large house. It's a very large house. It's a nice house, but it's a large house. And my mom is just very good at keeping things clean. She's very good at where she places things, what she stores. You know, my mother is very good at that. My parents, I definitely think they could go down a little bit, especially now that myself and my sister are both out of the house. And I definitely think that in a few years they're probably going to be moving to a smaller house, which I am totally for, because it is a big house and they are getting a bit older. My parents are in their 60s, so yeah, my parents had me when they were like in their late 30s, so yeah. But like my parents are really, really good with keeping themselves clean, even with a lot of stuff. So, you know, someone like that, you don't really need minimalism, but it's still nice to, you know, use it as a sort of excuse to clean out whatever you don't have. I would also say if you're into material things, like if you like collecting things, if you have like the monetary resources to collect items, it could be whatever you want. I have a friend that collects makeup and skincare, and she also, and things like she likes having choices. That should be the big thing. Don't be a minimalist if you like having a large array of choices, because that's the point of excessive. That's the point of being excessive. And being excessive it is a bad thing. Do not think, I am using it in a sort of negative connotation in this particular situation, but it's not. It's not inherently a bad situation. People can be excessive and still, you know, and have it not be a bad thing. It's just, and have it actually be kind of cool. Like, you see some people that have like opened museums, you know, with like collections that they've, you know, gotten throughout their life. That's awesome. That's really cool. And yes, it's excessive, but at the same time now they're opening it to other people for them to see and learn and stuff like that. That's really cool. But, you know, just I have another friend that really loves collecting books, and I have another friend that he loves collecting various alcohol bottles. He wants to kind of open up his own sort of like mini bar, so he really is enjoying just like testing out and trying and collecting different kinds of liquor, mostly like rum, whiskey, and scotch. That's like the 3 things that he generally tends to go for. He's such a dude. And he wants it to be a pirate bar, so you know, that kind of makes a little bit more sense. Um, but just, you know, if you're a collector, if you are able to stay clean even with a lot of stuff, if you enjoy having a wide array of options, and also if you like having more space, which would be more getting into like tiny houses, which is a part of minimalist living, but you know, that's like a whole other conversation that I might have at some point, because I totally want to get a tiny house. We will have a conversation about this, but not now. Back to what I was saying though, if you like having more space as well, like even if you're by yourself, or it's just like you and your partner or a friend or a roommate or whatever, you know, if you like having more space, then I definitely wouldn't recommend minimalism to you, because you'll probably hate it. And that's totally fine, because I definitely, like I said it before, it's a lifestyle choice. It's person to person. Everybody views it differently. Like I said, my one friend, Caroline, who hopefully I will put up that video at some point before or after this video. I don't know. We'll find out eventually, but it'll be up at some point. If it is up, I'm gonna put it, there you go. Go check it out. It was a long editing process. But my friend Caroline, I should premise this, but she isn't excessive, but anytime that I talk about like minimalist living, or we would watch shows about tiny houses, the first thing that she would say is there's no room for people to have their own space. To which I would say, yes, there is. You have like 2 separate rooms. You could totally make it happen. But it's that mindset. She likes having more space. She likes having more options of places to hide. Or, you know, she's also the one that collects the makeup and the skincare. So she, you know, she likes to collect things, and she also collects books, but she was the other, never mind. But she's a collector. She likes to collect things, she likes to own things, she likes to have options, she likes to have variety. Whereas I, on the exact opposite, really only get things that I absolutely need. I only get things that I absolutely have to have. Like, I generally don't go clothes shopping until like my wardrobe starts falling apart. Like, when I have clothing that starts falling apart, then I will go and buy more clothing. But I don't buy that clothing until the ones that I currently have are dust. But that's also because I'm frugal. Oh, that's another thing. Addendum to the, if you want to be a minimalist. If you are a frugal spender, I feel like being a minimalist would be good for you, because there's not as much money to spend when you don't have that much stuff to begin with and don't want that much stuff to begin with. So definitely being frugal and being a minimalist for me, I feel like has gone hand in hand, but there are other people that are minimalists that also still buy really high-end things. And if anything, being a minimalist allows you to purchase more expensive items because you're not buying that much. So whatever you are buying, you can have a really nice sort of high quality with. So like I said before, for the people who, you know, who I'm saying could be minimalist, there's a way to test this out without necessarily making a giant change. The best thing that I would recommend, the best thing that I personally would recommend, if you are unsure, if you want to test it out, or if you're just like not 100%, take a box, or take, I would say like 2 or 3 boxes, look at all of your stuff and try to get rid of, and try to put about 50 to 75% of everything that you own. And I mean everything. Clothes, accessories, decorations, books, like anything that you own. Take 50 to 75% of all of it as a continuation, stuff it in those boxes, and make sure that it's things that, you know, and try to see, when you're thinking about what you want to get rid of, think of things that you don't use a lot, or things that you don't necessarily, or things that you only used once or never used. Put them in that box, and then put it somewhere for, I don't know, I would generally say anywhere, I would say up to a month. I would say a week isn't long enough, because you can go for certain things without a week. I would say go for a month. Just keep them in that box for a month and see if your life changed. You know, if it did, if you are missing those things, or if you're suddenly like, crap, I really wish I had that right now, you know, then like you could adjust it a little bit. But if you find that you know, have that stuff out of your sight and your lifestyle really hasn't changed that much, or you feel like you just feel cleaner, or you feel like you are more free just within your life without all that stuff, maybe minimalism is the right thing for you. It certainly has helped me just in terms of cleanliness, in terms of freedom, and I also just feel more like an adult being a minimalist, because I think one of the biggest things about being a minimalist is that you don't want to look like a slob. You want to appear to everyone, including yourself, that you're put together. And the best way to appear put together is for your area, your things to also be put together. And I think that is a good sentiment to have just in general, but for a minimalist, I feel like that's a really good sentiment to have. So with all of that being said, that is what I think of minimalism and some advice and information that I wanted to give to people who are considering a minimalistic lifestyle. I know I didn't get into too much detail. I think it's something that a lot of people just need to research for themselves, because it's so different for everyone. You know, like I said, there are people that can live with the bare minimum and be super happy, and there are people that, you know, just maybe need to clean a little bit and, you know, just sort of get rid of only a little bit, and that will make them happy. So it's a wide range in terms of minimalism. I definitely recommend looking at minimalistic aesthetics. I recommend looking at tiny house aesthetics, just to sort of get an idea of what people do in those kind of lifestyles and how it could possibly fit your lifestyle, or maybe it doesn't. And again, that's totally up to you. Everyone's different. Live your life how you want to. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love talking about minimalistic lifestyle and minimalism and all of the stuff surrounding that, but I have a lot of friends that aren't really super into it, and it's difficult to have these conversations with people that are more materialistic than I am, or just like don't get it, because, you know, I'll say the stuff that I said before and they'll just be like, well, that doesn't make any sense, or I don't think you'd like that, or, you know, or that just doesn't sound like a good idea. I get a lot of that, but I think also it's a case of don't knock until you try it. Anyway, I really hope that you found this informative. I hope that you found it interesting or entertaining. I know I'm not the funniest person, but hopefully I can at least still be interesting to listen to. Hopefully. If you want, you can subscribe to my channel. I do not upload regularly. I'm just going to mention that right now. I don't. I might upload 2 videos a month. I might not upload for an entire year like this time. Hi, nice to see you. If you like watching my videos, give me a little subscribe. I don't know, you can do a notification for the email or something, you know. And with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all later. Bye!